This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, this little light of mine. Oh, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
When anyone among you has troubles, you must help each other. If you do that, you will be obeying Christ's rule. Galatians 6:2, easy version. So when I think about this scripture, what automatically pops in my mind is how God is calling me to think outside of myself and looking at the needs and the hurts of others. Somehow being able to use what He's given me to be able to help uplift and support someone else. As you listen to the rest of this podcast this evening, I hope that's what this is for you. That you feel supported, that you feel seen, and that you feel loved. Let's get into it. Yes, I felt abandoned. Yes, all the things. But I know that you love me. When I put the, I know that you love me. And when I put the, I know that you want my best, that's when it just started to slowly fall off of me, this burden of like anger that I had towards the Lord because He didn't help me or He didn't do what I thought He should have done. And then the other part of that is that there's going to be long suffering in this world. And I think my pastor, last night we had a meetup, if you will, with several people from our church. And one of the things he brought up was just like having this misunderstanding about who God is and about what the word says. Because the Lord never promised that there wouldn't be long suffering. The Lord never promised that something bad or people wouldn't choose to do things that are bad to other human beings. That's seen as evidenced in the world around us. And then he said something that was just really profound to me. And that was because what he was saying basically is that there was someone that he was speaking to and they were talking about their anger towards God. And the question he posed to that person was, okay, so I just need you to understand, like God is not the author of the confusion, and He certainly is not a God that's going to cause evil against His children. He loves His children. He loves us. Now, you got anger towards this person that's supposed to love us, but have you ever been angry at the enemy? Have you ever thought and looked back and said, I'm so mad at Satan for what he did? And then it made me sit there in my chair and say to myself the same thing. All this stuff that I've been angry with God about, as far as what happened to me and what He didn't do and did do and all this, have I ever looked back at the true enemy? Because the true enemy was not God. God created me for a purpose. And I'm telling you, it is by the grace of God that I'm even alive. Me being here on this earth had a very interesting story. Let's just say that. And so I know it was an intentional thing, just like you being born was intentional. And just like every human being on this earth, it was an intentional thing that you were born and you were created. And there is a purpose that God has placed inside of each of us. And so I know I'm meant to be here on this earth. And so if He took the time to form me in my mother's womb and to allow me to be on this side of being inside of my mama's belly, coming out of her womb, being on this side of the world and living as long as I have, then there's something that I'm here to do. Because otherwise I wouldn't be here. I would have never existed. So that's one, understanding that I have value and I have purpose already because I'm here. And so He loves me that much to even have me be born, to be here, to follow through with His purposes. And a God like that, a God that loves and created me like that, did not create me to go through pain and to be hurt and to suffer under the hands of what someone else is dealing with in their heart. That's not what he necessarily created me for. He created me to love others. He created me to be like his hands and his feet. He created me to be able to help other people go through things because he's helping me go through things. And so I had to look at it from that perspective. And I had to look at it from the perspective that even if I don't fully understand, and that was probably the most difficult thing, difficult thing to grasp, was that in this faith walk, when you're getting to know God, there's going to be times you don't understand stuff. It is. That's just what it is. In all honesty, we're a human being. We're created of the Creator. The Creator can't even fully, and I think my pastor also touched on this too, he can't even fully place himself within us, meaning reveal himself through us, if not by the Spirit, because the Spirit has the capacity to reveal who God is. But as a human being in our flesh and our soul, we couldn't even understand or take the full magnitude of who God is. And so there's just certain things that in my human being mind, I'm not going to be able to understand. I'm not going to be able to get until I get the opportunity to come face to face with God in heaven. And at that time, it's going to be so much peace and it's going to be so much praise that all of the foolishness and the things of this world won't even be a care on my mind to begin with. But I do believe that it will be revealed, should it be the Lord's will to me on that day, why certain things happen and, what it was all for. And, here's the reality of it too. God has already revealed some things of the reason why things happen the way they did and what they happened for. I don't necessarily say that God caused it, but I can say that God has definitely been able to transform that horrible thing into something good and something great and something healing and something that's love from something so awful.